there. Hi, this is Pastor Hannah. I wish I could just thought I could take this time to share something with you. And one of the things that I'll be sharing about with you today is something that has come to my mails, and people writing to me and asking about a prophet. He's called Prophet Bushiri. And actually, if I go online and actually you see a lot of videos about Prophet Bushiri and what it is all about. It's just a lot of stories, and there've been news about him. And is it a real prophet? Is it a fake prophet? Is it a correct prophet? There's been a lot of reports. So I maybe just stay with me so I can help you. The question is he a real prophet? And before we do that, let's just backtrack a bit and go back to this wisdom thing. What is wisdom all about? So we'll be dealing with this year. We've called it the year of wisdom, and we'll be dealing with this wisdom. So the first thing that I just wanted to share with you is to say that first of all, him doing a ministry in that part of South Africa is something good. If I've been to Soshanguve, and I've actually been around that area. It's a massive location with a lot of other crazy things. There's crime, there's abuse, there's drugs, and there's all kinds of evil things happening there in Soshanguve, there in Pretoria, and him doing a ministry there and helping the people there. To me, that is a good sign, and it's a good thing to do. I would say he's not perfect, so we'll look at this ministry, and we'll look at what he's all about. So before we do that, let's talk about the wisdom. So the fact that he's inspiring young people and taking them out from the streets, and he's bringing them to church and making them to be inspired again, to want to learn to be people of society, worthy of that name again, then that's a good thing. If you're helping young people, I think that's something it should be. To me, that's a tick there already. That's one tick for him in terms of bringing people together, especially the young people. They're energized, they're dynamic, they want to do something, and that is perfect. That's very good. So then we look at the second wisdom. So what does the wisdom of God states? So how do you identify whether it's a true man of God, it's not a true person of God? So how do you know it? I'm gonna explain to you now in a very short and very quick way. First of all, you find out the wisdom. What is that? I call it the overarching wisdom. There's a big wisdom. There's a wisdom that God used to create the world. The Bible says the wisdom that God's wisdom is hidden in the creation, in the thing that He created. He's hidden within those things, His wisdom. So He says, if we find His wisdom, then we're going to find God. So His wisdom, we're going to use that wisdom and apply it in a ministry, in every society in life, everything in life, everywhere in society. You can apply this wisdom. So what is this wisdom? The first thing about this wisdom is this thing I say, that whatever God created, or whatever God has created, He has made it is a means to an end. So whatever God has done, it's means to an end. So He created trees, the trees to do something. The trees produce oxygen. He created the rivers will give us water and we'll drink it. So whatever He's done in His creation, it is. He's trying to accomplish something at the end. So that thing will always work as a means to an end. So ministry is also a means to an end. So ministry, preaching, prophesying, pastoring, whatever it is, a means to an end. It's a means to bring people. So the first thing is the wisdom of God is a means of accomplishing something. It's a means to an end. So if maybe you're working, you're going to a job and you do something, that is a means to an end. And Prophet Bushiri preaching, it is his means to winning souls for Christ. So I hope that that particular first level is established. That whatever you do, whatever decision you make, ask yourself, what is it am I trying to achieve? What is the ultimate decision? What is the end result? What is the end goal? What is the end point here? Where am I trying to go with this thing? Okay, so it's a means to an end. So preaching is a means to accomplish God's purpose for his life. It might be his preaching, so that's what it is, a means to an end. So the next wisdom is, if it is a means to an end, God's wisdom, in his wisdom in creating the universe, he showed us that with a means to an end, then it must, the second universal wisdom that God has is it should have a good relationship with all other things that he has created. So when God created man and placed man into this world, He already formed the world. He created everything around the world. And those things that he created, or that we see around us, that God created, has good relates very well and relates well with all other things around them. For example, the trees. The trees that God created relates very well with man. So trees produce carbon dioxide, while trees produce oxygen, while we as men produce carbon dioxide. So while you're producing carbon dioxide, the trees is producing oxygen. So it's relating to us. It's relating to us. It's feeding up to our needs. Why we feed to its needs. The rivers as well, the fishes, the animals, the birds, the air. So everything that we see around that God produced, it actually has a benefit to all other things that He has created. So there's nothing that God created in isolation. So it is the same in ministry. So the big question there is His ministry? I think His ministry is called ECG. Is His ministry, how does it relate well with all other things around it? So what are the things around it? The things around it is the community around it. The things around it is the members around it. The things around it is the laws, the regulations. So how is that ministry relating to all other things that are placed there? So, for example, if you ask yourself, is that ministry, is it feeding the poor? Is it helping the people there in the community get out of poverty? Is it having a concrete impact and helping to alleviate, to make its members to grow, to get an education, to get so is it how does that relate? So if you have a ministry where you have crime and even the prophet has been wanted for crime and there's a lot of other things around being investigated for other things, it means that ministry doesn't relate well with regulations. Well, it doesn't relate with the law. So it doesn't, there's something around it that it doesn't relate properly. And so because it doesn't relate with those things around it, those things should be a question mark. So as far as the Prophet Bushiri is concerned, the question I want to ask is, find out. So it's on you now to check what kind of relationship does he have with the laws. So if some of the things I read online, it might some it might be fact checked. It needs to be correct. I stand on that correction. It might not be true. It might just be rumors. But some of the things we hear like is that this person, women come up and say he impregnated them or he had affairs with women in church and so forth. The question, so that already breaks the relationship with all other things. So the means he might be achieving, it might be a means to an end, but the relationship around it and other things have been damaged because that has happened. That is affecting the overall purpose of whatever it is. So that should help to make a decision. So you might say, listen, Pastor, and I don't agree, I disagree with you, that just rumors. Well, you find out and let me know. I hope you find out and write to me and let me know. But those are some of the things. The other thing that I want to talk about is that so we're using the wisdom of God. So when God created the heavens and the earth, what did God do? Whatever He created benefits a majority of other things that He had created. So whatever He's created is benefiting a majority of other things around it. It may not benefit everyone, but it's benefiting a majority. So, for example, He created, let's say, God created the trees, or He created the mountains, He created the rivers. It's benefiting the majority. So, God created something that most people needed. He didn't create something that benefits a minority. He didn't create something that benefits just tall people, or that benefits white people, or that benefits black people, or that benefits short people, or women, or men, or whatever. Whatever God created benefits the most amount of people that you can actually get. So that is the wisdom. So the question is, if you have a ministry, let's say you make a decision in life, you ask yourself, a big question to ask yourself, how is this decision going to benefit the most amount of people around me? How is it benefiting my father? Is it benefiting my family? Is it benefiting my colleague? How does it benefit my friends? How does it benefit? So if it doesn't benefit people around you, that relationship it won't thrive. Okay, so that is something happened to the ministry. The question is, does it benefit the most people? Does it benefit an individual? Is the ministry benefiting just him and his church, and is just benefiting his family? Or is that particular ministry, or is his prophetic ministry, does it benefit the most people, which are the people of Social Wolf, or the people of South Africa, or the people of Johannesburg, or wherever? So that those are the tests, the litmus test to a ministry, the litmus test to a prophet. So whoever says the prophet, you can claim and call yourself a prophet, but if you call yourself a prophet, this test about the wisdom, use the wisdom of God and apply that test. Does it pass? Does it, first of all, is it benefiting most people in society? How does it relate with other things around it? And the last thing is it a means to an end? And what end is it trying to achieve? Is it a good end? So write to me. Is it just part one of something? I'm going to come with you part two, and I'm just going to respond to some of your questions. But I know there'll be a lot of excitement around Prophet Bushiri, and you might be his follower, and I've seen some of his videos I've seen some of his teachings online and so forth, and the inspiring and so forth. He's passionate about what he does as a young man. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you fight back to me.